Hey guys, it's Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge. We've got another Fixed Blade Friday for you, and this is the JAGER. Not quite the Jägermeister. Some people might pronounce it Jagger. I'm pronouncing it the JAGER. F118-G. That's because it's got the green and black handle. You can also get it with a black handle. 14C28N Sandvik stainless steel blade, stone washed. Drop point, high saber grind. This is an excellent survival knife, multi-purpose use knife. It has one shortcoming that I can manually overcome quite easily. And the rest of the features are just great, excellent, very, very good. I don't know if I can speak highly enough of this knife to give it all the praise that it deserves. So that already tells you something, doesn't it? Well, stick around and we're going to take a good close look at this knife. Keep watching. Every knife has some shortcomings, and you all have to just decide which shortcomings you're willing to live with and which ones you just aren't. The shortcomings on this knife I find to be minor enough that they don't bother me. First, let's talk about the sheath. ABS plastic. A lot of people are going to say, what the? And they're going to be upset that it's ABS plastic. I have written in, and unfortunately I didn't write in time. So I only wrote today, and to my contact at Ruike. And since he's in Canada, he's going to have to write to the Chinese factory, wait for an answer from them, and by then this video's gone live. I was asking if there is any reinforced fibers of some kind, like glass reinforced fibers in this ABS plastic or not. I don't know if there is or if there isn't. And so I'm asking that question. I'll put that into the description below and into a pinned comment. So once I have that information, look in the comment section. It should be the very top comment. If it's not there yet, I don't have the information yet. ABS plastic, it's quite good. It fits in with a good click. It doesn't rattle. You hear a tiny bit of noise, very slight rattle. You got a nice thumb rest area here to push on to eject the knife. It works very well. Great system that way. There's a drainage hole that they put in right there. Don't know if you can see it in this light. Trust me, there's a little drain hole right there. So that's a very good thing. And then you've got this for your belt. Your belt fits in here, and you can just slide it over your belt because the way this is designed, slides on over the belt. And it's a 9-position holder, and it locks into 9 different spots. So you can wear this horizontally in the small of your back. You can wear it on an angle. You can wear it, just upright in your pants. Like here's your belt and it's just upright. A lot of different ways that you can wear it. I'm just not terribly fond of this kind of sheath. I like having the belt be higher up on the knife. In fact, my favorite way is, here is one of my Schrade knives. And I like having my belt up here, up near the top of the handle, so that the knife is lower down on the leg instead of up high on the hip. So this is my favorite type of sheath that, I wish they had something like this, but leather is very much old school, old tech, and the Ruike company, what they're doing is all high tech, modern stuff. And so it makes sense that they're using this kind of thing. Or I might just make a Kydex sheath for it myself if I want to. And it all depends on how well this thing wears. And believe it or not, it looks pristine, but I've worn this thing outside. It's gotten banged around a little bit, and there's just no marks on it yet. It's a good sheath. It's just, I prefer other sheaths over it. So you've got a good sheath, but it's not my top preference. So let's put that aside. And now we just have the knife that we're looking at. 14C28N steel. It's a stainless steel, and so that's really good. We've got a stone wash all over it, so it doesn't show scratches that easily. You've got a nice sharpener's choil here, a nice drop point, a swedge right here so that it's thinner. This knife is not designed for batoning, and that's partly because, they thinned out the spine. You want a wider spine, a full width spine, if you're going to do any batoning to start with. Could this knife handle some minor batoning? Yes, it could. So, all the smart use of knives is for cutting things, not for splitting things. You use axes and hatchets and wood splitters for splitting wood. It's just the way it's just the way the world works, right? But some people are in denial about that and want to use their knives for splitting, and that's okay. I'm not upset about it at all. I'm just saying for my own knives, I don't do that. So everything's nicely rounded. We got some nice nice jimping there. It's kind of gentle jimping. It's not like sharp or anything, and it works. Feels good on the thumb. The spine is, sort of rounded over. You've got a lashing point there for a lanyard. And you've got a lashing point here for a lanyard. I do not recommend tying this to a stick and trying to turn it into a spear. I think that is totally silly. I would rather take this knife, sharpen the stick till the stick has got a sharp point on it. And then I got the knife in one hand and a sharp stick in my other hand. Now I've got two weapons instead of one. I think that's always much better to protect myself against wild critters or what have you. The other thing is, if you tie it to a stick, you're much more likely to have it break. You just don't have as much control of it out there. And if you want spears, buy spear tips. For crying out loud. Schrade makes some spear tips. Buck makes spear tips. I think Marble Knives makes spear tips. There's a number of factories that make tips for spears, so you can make your own spears, and they're designed just for that, and that's kind of cool. So go and use the thing that it's made for, my suggestion. G10, it looks really nice. It almost looks organic. It almost looks like a wood grain pattern on there, but of course it isn't. It's G10. And finger choil here for your index, another rounded one for your pinky finger. My hand fits in here perfectly. This knife is large, my hand is large, bordering on extra large. And this knife is super comfortable in my hand. Grip, any kind of grip that I want. It's very comfortable. Reverse, even reverse, which is a very rare grip, but sometimes you need to do that. That's comfortable. You've got a cutout right here. If you can see how that is shaped, it's designed to do a pinch grip right here at the base. And then you can also do, your finger right there. That's ink from pens. That's what lefties end up doing. They get ink all over their pinky finger because they write across the wet ink. And so you can pinch grip that way. That's what I was talking about, I guess. Or, up a little bit higher. All kinds of different grips. This knife just feels very, very comfortable in the hand. I don't use lashes very often, but you can use a lash here to come around your hand, and that helps hold your hand in if you're going to do some light chopping for a while. If your hand fatigues, the knife's not going to go flying all of a sudden, and that's why you lash between there and there over your hand. It's a very, very excellent shape and design for a knife. Let's talk about all the sizes. Okay, what do we have here? We have a cutting edge of 10.5 centimeters, 4.13 inches. Blade length, so from the end of the G10 there to the tip, 11.1 centimeters, 4.37 inches. The blade thickness is 4.4 millimeters. That's 0.173 inches. That's nice and thick and heavy. I like that an awful lot. And the blade depth, well, being this thick, it's got a great amount of blade depth, so you can get nice and thin at a gentle rate. The blade depth is 3.28 centimeters, 1.29 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind is 0.55 millimeters, which is 0.0215 inches. So that's a very good thickness behind the grind for a fixed blade of this size. It's pretty much perfect, exactly what I want. The handle length is 11 centimeters, 4.32 inches. The handle thickness at the thickest spot is 2 centimeters. That's 0.7875 inches. The handle depth, that's this dimension at the thickest or widest spot, 3.05 centimeters, 1.2 inches. And then the grip area inside here is 9.3 centimeters, 3.66 inches. And the total length of the knife, I forgot to convert to inches. It'll be on the screen right here. Total length is 22.3 centimeters, which equals, I think, around 8-something inches right here. The weight of this knife, 197 grams, 6.9 ounces. So for a blade that is over 4 inches, you've got a knife that is under 7 ounces. Very, very good amount. The balance point on this thing is, don't want to drop it. There you go. You can see the balance point is right where this screw is, right by your index finger. Perfect. I forgot to give you the rest of the weight. The weight with the sheath is 289 grams, 10.25 ounces. How much does this knife cost? Well, I got this from Ruike Canada. Well, there's 2 Ruike stores in Canada. So if you're going to buy this knife and you're from Canada, please use my link and please shop at the store that was generous to me. They sold these knives to me at a discount. Free would be great, but a discount is also very good. So if you would honor me by using the same store that was honoring me, that's a double honor, I guess. Please use them. Canadian dollars, $90.95. So $91 basically is what you're paying for this knife, which I think for this steel and this size and this build quality is an excellent price. As of the 1st of March in US dollars, that is $70.90. In euros, that equals 57.8 euros. And in British pounds, that's 51.46 pounds on March 1st, 2018. And so I think that's a great price. This knife is an awesome thing to have. I like that sharpener's choil in there. It's a perfect spot. You've got this lash point, which is great. And I like that swedge up there. It's a comfortable knife to use. The things that I dislike is there's no flat edge anywhere for me to strike a ferro rod on. Now, I could mount a ferro rod holder on here somehow. I could find a way, and that would be a good thing. And so if I would want this to be a true survival knife, I would need to make a flat edge somewhere that I could strike it on. And where would I do that on this knife? Well, the spot that I would choose, I think, is right here on the inside edge of this guard, this edge here. So if you make that edge sharp, then if this is a ferro rod, pretend it's thicker, I could still hold it on my hand and strike across this way, not striking on the cutting edge because that's no good. But I could make sparks like this without making anything sharp where my hand goes. And, I still have a sharp edge that I can make sparks fly. The other option would be to do it closer up here on the tip, not here on the spine where my thumb might go sometimes. Maybe up here, I would grind a slightly flat area, and then I could make sparks like that. Hold that in my hand, thumb back here for pushing, and make sparks fly like that. So right there or right there, and that's easily done with a bit of a file or a Dremel tool or something, if that's what I wanted to do. But I think it's a short sight, an oversight on their part. I think they should have made a flat spot somewhere for that purpose. And then if they want to make a few extra bucks, I would like it if they made a ferro rod attachment that fits perfectly on here. That would have been a really good option. So what I really like, I like this G10. I like the shape of the handle. Fits really good in the hand. Everything's nice and rounded. There's milled lines in here on an angle that gives this texture and grippiness, and just the shape of the handle itself gives a really good grippiness. The jimping is perfect. Great hand feel. It's an excellent knife. Well, let's show some cutting, for crying out loud. I believe this is the factory edge on here still. And you can do some really fine cutting with it. I may have sharpened it. I don't. Let me look at this. Actually, I think I sharpened this. I don't think this is the factory edge. Here I've got some manila rope, and we can see how well it'll cut through that. That was pretty easy. It just went flying through that. And let's see what we can do here. That went flying with a vengeance. I made a big mess all over the place. So just one little whack, and it just cut through that so easily. A little bit lighter of a whack so that I wouldn't make a big spray. And this is tough stuff. It's, you can cut through it quite well. Ooh, that goes flying again. And, this is difficult stuff to cut, this manila rope. And see how clean that cut is? Just beautiful. It's a good knife for just about any kind of task you're going to face. Feels good, looks good. I've mentioned that stuff. I'm repeating myself over and over again. The handle scales do come off. You use torque screws to get them to come off if you want to. And there you go. So if you need to switch them up for whatever reason, or maybe you just want to make your own custom handle scales, it's going to be easy to do on this because you take these off and use them as a pattern for making your own. So there you go. What do you think of this knife, guys? Do you like it? I like it. Please share, subscribe, comment on all that other really good stuff. And I might have a video coming up for doing some shopping this weekend. This is Friday that it's coming out, March the 2nd. Hopefully I can do a video for some sale items. I did mess up a little bit on some of the sale items for the lower priced items, and I've messed up some people's orders, and I just feel so terrible about that, and I don't want to do that again. It is a difficult task for me to do sales. My mind just doesn't work the way it used to, which is why my boss said I couldn't work anymore. And my doctor said the same thing. And, it gets very frustrating, but I can't think as clearly as I used to one day. And so doing a sale while still doing some videos and stuff was a exercise in both frustration and joy, because I did get a fair bit of money in to buy some more knives. But the long and short of what I'm trying to say is I'm not totally sure I'm going to do a sale this weekend or not. I think I probably still will, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and all that good stuff you guys do for me. Thank you very much to my Patreon supporters. I will be posting a video either later on today or tomorrow on which one of the Patreon supporters won the knife for the month of February. You guys are awesome. Remember, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.